Hi everyone. How are you today? I'm Mary Amy, and this is Living in the Light, and I'm all about shifting away darkness and guiding you to your truest potential, cracking open that beautiful glowing light in your heart. And it's Monday morning in the Matrix work week. It's September 26th, and we're back from a long weekend. We had Saturday, Sunday, which seemed like a long weekend to me. Hi, anyone who's joining us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. So, how was everyone today? Did you tune into your heart today? See how you're feeling? Did you write down any dreams? Did you have any interesting dreams this weekend? I know I had a dream, and I'll share with you. So it was interesting. It's been happening to me a lot lately, and maybe it's considered a light code because I'm ascending to a higher consciousness. And so what I'm seeing is like something that looks kind of like this, which is all these different symbols. And sometimes we see that in labeling, we see the same logo over and over. And that's what I'm seeing. I don't know what it means. It might be what's considered light language for anyone out there who understands what that means. But I had that. And then lately, my dreams have really been about kind of taking a situation with people that I know and I'm familiar with and putting some kind of uh, negative spin on it. So it's kind of confusing to me. But what's good is that my real self is coming through in my dreams. Now, I was reading over the weekend about silver cords. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of your silver cord, which is a cord that's attached to all of your chakras, and it has a lot of power if you're clear, and it goes out into the universe. And when you're sleeping, if you're not in a love state, like you went to sleep and you said love, love, I want love in my heart, which is what I was doing, then you can have psychic attacks. You can have harvesting your energy. This is what I'm hearing. So just be aware. I think that there's a lot of benefits to having unconditional love and being in love. And look, there's situations that take us off our game and we are not maybe feeling in a state of love, 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 but maybe that's a lesson we're supposed to learn. So just be patient. And I think that the farther you get along through your issues and your triggers and your traumas and just accepting yourself and having trust, everything just seems to kind of work out. It just and more benefits to your life come through, like more opportunities and more of your personality comes online and your intuitive abilities. So today I wanted to cover some subjects like doubt, stuck in the matrix, and ionic abilities. Of course, we'll be covering psychic phenomenon and doing a visualization and touching on angels. So, have you been tested lately? Do you feel like you're being tested? And what I mean by that, do you feel like you're going along and you have either issues or situations that are testing you? It's almost like helping you or forcing you to make a decision, forcing you to decide which side of the road you're on. And it helps with defining your decision making. And I have been tested a lot lately. And what's happening is it's actually challenging my focus, it's challenging my foundational beliefs, and it's just challenging my spirit and my personality because as we have been raised in this programming, it's almost unconscious what we've received. Can you imagine if you took away the whole load of everything that you've learned and all the structures in the matrix, and that all disappeared? What thoughts are yours? And I've spoken about that. It's very essential to realize, what are your thoughts? What's coming from your discernment, your heart and your spirit? And what is a thought or a policy, I should say, or a belief of someone else's? Like, for example, just simple things like how you live in your home, how you take care of your possessions, how you take care of yourself. What is programmed into you and what is your belief? And what have you changed from how you were raised, or what's in our society, in the physical reality? And I just want to bring that up about being tested, because I think it's kind of a way to ensure exactly you are on your path and you're making decisions and you're not being swayed by others thinking, by the majority, right? By conformity. So doubt, that brings up doubt. And, I believe that we all have doubt from time to time. And the direction in which the mindset of most of the public is, and the media, and the programming, the television shows, the news, it's all creates doubt within us. And so when we doubt ourselves, we question the truth. And I really believe that we should tune in, and things should resonate, subjects should resonate with us, which means that you have like a more of a vibration to go towards something when something resonates. And so, are you feeling like what's going on out in the physical world is resonating with you? Do you have doubt about what you're hearing or seeing? And how does that change your decision making? So, when we have doubt, we consider things to be unlikely, there's uncertainty, and it actually kind of creates confusion within us when we have doubt, doesn't it? So, do I have doubt? I have doubt about things that I probably can't see for myself. I have doubt if I get an uh-oh feeling within me and I feel a little bit stressed over something, then I have doubt, because then I start to kind of weigh things. And so you start to have a hesitation when you have doubt. So if you make a decision, we'll just throw out an example. So if you make a decision to do something, you've made a decision. Now, maybe you've asked other people, which I don't suggest. I say you come from yourself. So you start to have doubt. You start to have doubt when others put doubt in your mind, or if it doesn't seem like it's going in the right direction. You might begin to have lack of confidence. So is it like a domino effect? When we start to doubt one aspect of our lives or our thinking, do we then in turn start to doubt other aspects? Well, what I'm going to say about this is, I really believe if you're experiencing feelings of doubt when you're challenged in situations, you might be someone that's looking for facts or information or data. And sometimes we don't have that. We have to trust ourselves. We have to tune in and say, is this a good idea for me? And the way the world is going right now in this direction, which I've been hearing, you know, some events are going to happen. Whether or not they happen or not, it doesn't matter. We have to just focus inward, because our thoughts are very powerful and we will create our future. We will create our reality. So when we start to doubt ourselves, we begin to have mistrust in ourselves, and then it turns into a domino effect, like I said, right? And so how are we going to compensate for that? Well, I believe we have to go back to saying two things. One is we have to remind ourselves our authentic characteristics that make us different from everyone else, so that we begin to have confidence about what we're saying. Because imagine, if it's one thing if you're a small child and you have doubt about something, but if you're an adult, if you're grown up and you've had some life experience, if you begin to have doubt, maybe the doubt comes from you want to make a better decision. Maybe the doubt comes from someone telling you, maybe it didn't turn out so good that the last time. So that's great. So maybe you should have doubt. But then there's doubt that you instill in yourself from constant criticism, or you're asking too many people for their opinions, or you just sabotage yourself. And then you start to be not to believe in yourself. But what happens is, if you don't stand on your characteristics that make you authentic, if you begin to take away any trust that you have in yourself, you will be too vulnerable. you will be stuck somewhere and you will be vulnerable. So you begin to doubt yourself. So let's accept ourselves. I'm here to say, let's accept ourselves. Let's believe in ourselves. Let's tune inward, like I say. So when we tune inward, we're letting out a breath and we're listening. Now, it might be that you'll hear yourself saying, "Oh, you're okay," or "Oh, I don't feel good," or it might be something that you've been denying, rejecting, that you've been really it's been running around in your mind, and it's finally you're tuning in and you're hearing it. You might decide to do a meditation, and then you relax yourself so much that these ideas and these memories and some answers surface. So that might be something that you must do if you're feeling doubt about yourself. It might be that you've gone along on your path and everything's been working fabulously, and all of a sudden it's not. Well, why is that? Well, there's a lot of frequencies and energies coming in. There's been this spiritual war of good and evil. It really exists, dark forces versus divine energies. It might be that the people around you have changed their philosophy. So then you start to wonder about yourself. You say, oh my gosh, maybe I should rethink this. But we talk about keeping your eye on the prize. Do you see your prize in front of you? What is your prize? What is your destiny? So if we want to say wholeheartedly, you've committed to your destiny, then really everything else should fall into place. We let out a breath. We let go of any thought attachments, and we see our eye on the prize. Now, maybe something comes up in your life and it's startling. Maybe there's a loss, there's an illness, and that's fine. But don't let that doubt you, because when we are really true to ourselves, the person that we were, the being that we were born to be, it's all there. We were just crushed. We were crushed. And so then that actually took us away from understanding ourselves. We didn't know our senses. We were denied. We were like, oh no, what? You're too sensitive, or you're feeling too much. Your feelings and emotions are very valuable, because it's what you have that's true to you. So that's why we talk about connecting to it. And so let's support ourselves. And I'm here to say, I'm going to give you support. Okay. So let's remind ourselves of our 3 characteristics. Let's have compassion for ourselves and love for ourselves, which means we cherish ourselves. We remind ourselves we're sacred beings of light. We're multidimensional beings of light. And like we say, 12 inches from your body, there's an invisible line. If you feel like someone's coming into your space, and you're not enjoying it, it's not a happy time, either physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, you say, you know what, I need a little bit of a break. And you know what, if someone's communicating with you and listening, and you have trust in the relationship, they will listen. We all have times and moments that we need our space. We need to reflect. And sometimes we go task, right? All of these things that keep us so busy, on our time, be on time. Everything is on time. And we're rushing. And so we don't really have time to reflect and say, wow, that wasn't really a good thing for me. I need to rethink this. And maybe that is a time you should have doubt. So let's accept ourselves. Let's have compassion for ourselves, self-love. And let's spend time with those who support us, like-minded beings. Now, it's not all the time. We don't have to spend some time with someone every second of the day. But if you enjoy their, time with them, and they're supportive of you, and they're loving you unconditionally. Now, another way, if you're going through something and you have doubt, release it by writing it down, journaling. And that might help you. So questioning the truth is doubt, and it's considered unlikely and uncertain. So when you have doubt, like for example, let's say something comes before you and you say, well, that doesn't really resonate with me. Maybe it's justified that you have doubt. But then if someone criticizes you, that's about conformity. When you start to be criticized for your opinions and for your views, then it can start to create doubt. You have to stand firm. If something doesn't work for you, trust yourself. Okay, you have a knowing, whether you realize it or not. Okay, so if you have any opinions, write in the chat. Tell me where you're coming from. I'm coming from New York. I'm Mary Amy, and I'm living in the light in this moment. I'm in the light. And Elsa's over here. You can only see the back of her or the side of her because she's next to all the fluffy white pillows. So did you tune into yourself today? What was the first thought you had? Do you have good intentions? I barely had time to have a good intention before I went on today because I realized I wanted to bring some like pictures to show. So now that the matrix is kind of diminishing and it's kind of getting thrown in the dumpster. So the matrix is the linear world. It's all we've ever known from the time we were born, incarnated on this new earth Gaia. And so it's a world of structures and it's a world of programming. It's a linear world. So do you feel stuck? Have you been stuck? And how are you getting out? Do you have one leg in the matrix, which is 3D, and one leg in 4D or headed to 5D? Sometimes I feel like that because it's very hard to function in this dense reality. And also to be, continuing with life, breathing, because so much of the world, they say 90% still is stuck in the matrix. We're almost to hitting 10% are awakened, which means they realize they're like from the pack of rebels, like I say, not the rebels that cause havoc out there, the rebels that believe there's another reality. Do you believe there's another reality? And what is that reality? Well, let me just break it down really simply. Here's one reality, okay? Right here. This is the matrix. This is about rush, rush, rush. This is about linear time. This is about the structures and the systems of government, medical, health, education, and it's all about, this prison, this four wall with a ceiling prison, and we're the puppeteers, we're the puppets. And the puppeteers over us, and they are reigning. They have all the power. They dominate us. They own us. Why? Because of money, because of currency, because they have the most. That's who runs us. So we're enslaved in this world right here. Now, that's one world, and the world I'm referring to over here that I'm headed towards, or that I'm half in, half out. But when I come back into the matrix, it kind of breaks me down, knocks me down. I'm learning a little bit, but I want to go back to this world, which is heaven on earth, my destiny, a thinking that doesn't include all of these structures and systems. Because guess what that is? This structure and system over here, you're born, you're shoved into the systems, you memorize all this material, you spit it back out. If you're acting out, they give you medication. And then you're supposed to get a job, do all these other things, and you're supposed to work. And then eventually you retire after 40, 50, 60 years. We'll say 50, 60 years. And then you have a few years to just rest, and then you pass. It's not very much fun. I prefer this world right here. So when we all get into this thinking, the other 90%, hello, wake up. It's time to wake up. It's annoying. It's annoying. It's like, are they not paying attention? Are they not realizing that there's another reality? You don't have to listen. That's all about your thinking. That's your mindset. So are you stuck in the matrix? And have you been stuck in the matrix? Well, we all have. You're unable to move from a particular situation or position, a way of thinking, because you've been programmed. It's mind control. You've been brainwashed. It's mass marketing. Buy this, own that, do this. It's all about your stuff. How much stuff do you have? Do you have a lot of stuff? Do you have a lot of expensive, fancy stuff? I want this pen in 50 colors and they all have to cost $300. And that's what's important. That's being stuck in the matrix, materialism. So are you unable to change your situation? Do you feel stranded, lost? Are you embedded? Can you not get out? Do you have this? Now, there's ways to leave. How is there a way to leave? Well, you can start to expand your consciousness. You can crack open your your mind's eye, your third eye. You can crack open your heart. How do you do that? How do you awaken? Well, you spend time in nature. You ask to be awakened. You say, awaken me. I want to be awakened. I want out of this matrix. Come on, join me. Come to this side. Come over here. There's many of us here waiting for you. Come on. So maybe you'll be a late timeline arrival. However, this timeline that I'm on, the 5D timeline versus the 3D, is all about personal happiness, mission, service to others. This is service to self. The matrix is service to self. Do you have service to self? It's all about me, 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 me. I don't. I have compassion for others. I'm thinking I'm sending light and love to you. Why? Because I have so much in my heart. I'm sharing it with you. I want good things for you. So this external reality, this matrix, this arranged structure, it's three-dimensional, material world, this physical world that's based on all things that are matter. Now, I know that sounds like we're going to lose a lot there, right? Because maybe you have a lot of stuff and you're like, I don't want to give up my stuff. I'm not saying you have to give up your stuff. I'm just saying it's about this whole system that you believe that's all that matters. You don't believe that there's anything else out there except knocking people down, getting in the front, competitive, being on top. And that's how you define success. About all this stuff, what you look like, that's your whole identity. Well, if we were to take that away, who are you? Who are you? Would you be liked if you didn't have all this stuff? Are you liked because you have this stuff and what your job is or what you look like? Why are you liked? Are you conforming? Are those the like-minded that you are around? So this mindset of materialism, so you prioritize material possessions and you emphasize that lifestyle. So importance on physical environment, and that's been placed on us by all this programming we've known since we were kids. Rush, rush, rush. You know, we must do what everyone else says we do. So we don't have our own thinking. We're not allowed to think for ourselves. We don't really have free will. We are enslaved in this system, this matrix. So are you stuck there? And I'm really sorry if you're stuck. Come on, come out, get out. How are you going to get out? Well, you're going to work on your intuitive abilities. You're going to work on your senses, or practice, we should say. And we're going to tune more into nature, ourselves, and we're going to take a breath. We're going to have a little bit more patience, because the matrix rushes you so that you can't really see what's going on. And there's a lot of distraction. There's a lot of fear-based in the matrix. When you're stuck in the matrix, you're worrying all the time. You're worrying what people are thinking. You're worrying if you're supposed to be somewhere. You're worrying if you're going to get sick and die. You know, there's a lot of worry and fear. And what does fear do? It stops you and you stay stuck. And you say, well, you know what? I'll be complacent. This will pass. But I'm telling you right now, it's not going to pass this time. I'm sorry to say. It's headed in one direction. You're going to have discernment and make a decision. It's time now. You had a long time to figure this out. And now if you haven't figured it out, you're going to have life make a choice for you. So you have to figure this out. I'm asking you to join me. Come out of the matrix. Come on, please. Come to the spiritual world. Let's focus on our human spirit, our inner world, and something that's greater than ourselves, right? Hey, Raymond, thanks for joining us. Wow, you're back. Nice to see you from Kuwait, right? Raymond from Kuwait. Who else is here today? So, Raymond, how have you been? So anyway, so here we are, and we are stuck in the matrix, and that's why I brought up doubt. Are you feeling doubtful right now because you had all of these policies and opinions, and you were like, I have it all figured out? From Thailand. That's it, Thailand. I'm writing it down because my memory's lacking in this. I'm so sorry, Thailand. So have you had doubt lately? Are you starting to say, well, 2 + 2 is not equaling 4 anymore? anyone who's joining us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel so people can find us. So are you having uncertainty and doubt about the world that we're living in right now? Are you starting to realize that maybe it's not what you thought it was? Now, I know that we are feeling alone at times. We're feeling like if we doubt the conformity and we doubt what's going on and we say, I don't really like this and this is not making me happy, we start to feel pressure about our decision making. And when we have pressure, then after a while, are we going to get worn down? And then we're going to conform. So mind control basically breaks down self. Brainwashing breaks down yourself. It beats you down until you give up, and then it gives you some kind of hope, and then it remakes you. It makes you a new version of you. Nice to meet you again. Nice to meet you too, Raymond. And so let's be aware that sometimes, doubt is just pressure and it can weaken your heart and spirit. So let's believe in ourselves and trust ourselves. And if you're stuck in the matrix, it might take time for you to get out. It might take time for you to feel comfortable, because when you start to straddle the two different energies, which is, the energies in the matrix are completely different than the energies in a higher thinking, a higher consciousness. A higher consciousness energy is more about living in joy, love, forgiveness, compassion, and kindness. And so if you're stuck over here in the matrix and your thoughts are more about me, myself, and I, me, maybe it's about, well, I get angry. Maybe I get angry a lot. Maybe you are just very frustrated. You might have a lot of pain that's still within you. You might feel hurt. And so you don't know how to quite get out of the matrix. And so all of these kind of keep you stuck there. And I understand that. It's not an easy load. However, what's happening now is the tide is turning. And like I said, we're hitting 10% of the globe realizes that this is a matrix and there's another choice. So you can take it slowly. You can start to identify, what you like and dislike. However, I just would like to say that when this all crumbles completely, the matrix completely goes and it's in the dumpster, what are you going to do? You're going to be in a place of shock and alarm. How are you going to function? There's a lot of truths that are going to be coming out. This matrix, these structures have been doing some naughty stuff, like really bad stuff. And so when you find that out, if you take so long until the very last second, and then it's just crashing in front of you, this reality, it's going to be mind-blowing for you. So I'm suggesting that you open an eye, you open another eye, you wake up, you go, oh, I'm out of the slumber. I'm out of the slumber. And you know what? Maybe I'm going to think more about spending time in nature, tuning into my heart, understanding my intuitive abilities. And you're going to realize that you're part of a cosmic world that's divine in nature. And you're going to trust yourself more, your heart, and you're going to share your heart with others. You're going to have kindness and compassion and love. And then you're going to do stuff like I do. When I say this all the time, right? What is this? This is light on the horizon, which is me looking through a window. And I started having dreams about this way back when. I don't know, maybe it was 5 years ago. I would see this window and I'd say, what in my dream? It would be a rectangle and there would be a window. And I'd be like, what's through that window? And I'd say, oh my gosh, it's what I love, sunrise, the new beginnings. And it would take my breath away. I would touch my heart. And there would be water rippling, and the sky would be colors of oranges and yellows and reds. And I would say, it's light on the horizon. Good things are coming. A difficult situation will improve beyond your vision. And I'm telling you, that's what's going on right now. A difficult situation is going to improve. And why is that? Because it's all about your mindset. It's all about your thinking, because we can create our reality through our minds, through our thoughts. And why is that? It's because they're very powerful. That's how reality is created, through our thoughts. So that's why when we have like-minded individuals, when 10% of the population, which is that 7.8, what is it, 8 billion? So what is 10% of 8 billion? Are they awakened? Is 10% of 8 billion awakened? Is that possible? Then what does that mean? That means we all have the same mindset, which is a higher consciousness, a higher way of thinking, a higher, we have expanded awareness. We're more aware. And I'm lonely here alone. I'm so sorry. Well, don't be alone. Well, I hope you liked the video and subscribe to the channel, Raymond. Don't feel alone. You're not alone. There's other people like us. There's other beings of light like us. There's plenty of other YouTubers that are talking about the same things that I am and having conversations throughout the whole day. You just have to search for them, and they're out there. And you don't have to be stuck in the matrix. Let's all come out of the matrix. And so, I was thinking about this. I said to myself, what can I compare this to? Well, I can compare it to a board game. I don't know if you've ever played a board game. Those board games when you're a kid, and there's always a board, and then there's all these different little pieces of equipment, and maybe there are little pieces that you move across the board. There's either a spinner or dice. And so what happens during a board game? So you're moving space to space, aren't you? And so what happens sometimes if you're playing Monopoly, if you get jail card, you get stuck in jail. And then you can't move. Are you feeling like that? Are you feeling like you're stuck in jail? Are you feeling like you can't move? I mean, what happens when we move across a board during a board game? Well, what we're doing is we're in a direction to try to win the game, aren't we? We are trying to evolve. We're trying to gain something, right? And so it's helping our concentration and our communication, and we're processing what's happening. We're thinking. So in your life, are you in a board game? Are you moving forward? Are you stuck? Are you stuck like you're in a board game? Did you roll a dice and land on a property and you can't move? Is that how you're feeling in life? Let's unstick you. Let's get unstuck out of the matrix. Let's all come together. Let's share our experiences, like Raymond sharing his experience from Thailand. I hope you liked the video and subscribe to the channel if you're joining us. So I'm Mary, and I'm in New York, and I'm living in the light. And today we're covering doubt, stuck in the matrix, ionic abilities. What are those? Well, that's kind of in the realm of, they say, sci-fi. And, it's kind of inevitable that we're all going to end up going to telepathy school, or as they're calling it, Earth school. Are you in Earth school right now? Are you learning about the Earth? Are you learning about yourself more and more? Because if we place all our emphasis on the external world, we're going to end up with the same issues, the same stuff that's going to come forward over and over again until we solve this. We can only control this. We can't control what goes on out here. Our thoughts, words, and actions matter. If you are trying to move forward like you're trying to move forward in your board game, are you learning as you go? Are you stuck? Do you have any doubt? Have you challenged yourself lately? Do you see your destiny? Do you have your eye on the prize? Because like I say, we're going to be owls for a minute, and we're going to be searching in the dark, like we're in the dark. An owl can see in the dark. You're going to learn to see in the dark. You're going to learn to understand yourself more and more by expanding your awareness, by living in a higher consciousness, by living in this moment. In this moment right now, we're letting go of any thought attachments before this moment, because that's not helping us, is it? Where are you going? What are you planning on doing with the rest of your existence here in the physical reality? Now, I say we need to spend time outside. We need to have sun. We need to have sunlight, sunshine. It's a source of radiance. You have to get out there and have sunlight. It's essential. It's a need. It's a need for you to exist. Don't spend all your time inside. If you spend all your time inside, you won't awaken. We must awaken. We must enjoy the rest of our lives. We're so lucky we're here. It's a beautiful adventure that we're on. It's exciting. So direct sun's light, direct rays. Okay, you must have spent time in the light, in the sun, for you to grow, for you to feel, gives you energy. It lowers your blood pressure. It heals you, right? And it keeps you calm and positive. And vitamin D is necessary. It's so important for us. And so I'm hoping, like, we can think about, before we move on to our ionic powers. And what are ionic powers? Ionic powers are related to your psychic abilities. And so they're also called ionic powers, psychic phenomenon, ionic abilities, and mind and life force are ionic powers. Mind and life force. So before we go on to that, let me just remind you of angels. So angels are beings of light. They come from the heavens to earth. They're here to protect humanity. They're here if you've had a near-death experience like I have. Maybe you were but I'm here with you. Oh, yes, you are here with me, Raymond. And so when the angels come from heaven, they're here before God, and they're here as warriors. They're here to protect humanity. They're here to guide us, and they're here to give us messages and signs. Are you receiving any messages from angels lately? Have you asked for angels to come into your life? As I say, we all have two guardian angels that we're born with, that are right by our side. And if we need information, we ask for them. Maybe they're going to lift you up through a terrible situation. Now, back when, I guess it was like 2015, I started really tuning into angels. And so what would happen is, because I had activated my third eye, I had a Kundalini awakening. And, I started to feel like not myself necessarily. A little bit more of me came online. I don't know if that's happening to you. And when that happens, you start to kind of gets you excited. You get a little dull for a minute, and then you get excited again. And maybe you'll have a mystical experience like I do, where in my mind's eye, I might see pieces of nature, or some kind of angel will come through, an angelic being will show itself or communicate with me. And is that happening to you? And it's possible. Anything is possible, I say. So just be aware. So anyone who's joining us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, because then others can find us. And I'm all about living in the light. That is my motto, living in the light. And I'm here right now, and I want to tell you, I want good things for you. I'm sending you light and love. And so for me, angels, I saw for a long time, I would like tune into my third eye. And so I would see this tower. I was in the inside of a tower. And I saw on all these shelves, I'm having a burst of energy right now. I saw on all these shelves, I saw these angels. And they were like statues, but they weren't. They were alive. And how did I know? Because their eyes blinked. And then this tower went all the way up to the heavens. Went to infinity, like I couldn't see the end of it. And I said, oh my gosh, thank you for subscribing. And so I saw up into this tower, and I can still see it because the memory is so strong. There's like a triggered there's a charge that's attached to my feelings because this was so strong when I had this Kundalini awakening. When I awakened, my spirit awakened. It's like I can see it anytime I tune in. I can see this tower inside, and everything was ornate and gold, and it was like beyond anything that you can imagine here. It was so vivid, and it was like the energy came off of everything. You could see the energy floating. I don't know if you've ever seen that sometimes when you're out in nature and the sun is beaming down and on a piece of nature, and you see like particles coming off because it's so strong, the vibration. That's what I can see when when I'm inside this tower of angels. So have you asked for angels into your life? I suggest you do. Why? Well, there's miracles involved, divine energies, there's celestial beings of light. Now, maybe you think, oh, they don't have wings or halos. Well, that's what we've seen in fine arts. And so that's all we know angels to be. But what I can tell you is, to me, in my mind's eye, when I see them in my third eye, when I see them, I do see the wings and I do see these beautiful beings of light. And so I'm suggesting that we all ask for angels to come into our life. Now, anyone who's joining us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel and tell me where you're coming from. So let's talk about psychic phenomenon. We all are interested in psychic phenomenon. Why? Because I'm a little tired of all this 3D, this physical realm. I'm very interested in psychic phenomenon because it's about tuning in. Like, we can do it ourselves. We can teach ourselves. We can practice. It's really just all about your five senses and knowing your five senses, and then your sixth sense, right? What is your sixth sense that you're about to master? You're going to master a sixth sense, aren't you? Aren't you going to master it? Now, psychic phenomenon relating to psychic abilities. So, ionic powers and abilities, what are those? Well, ionic powers and abilities are mind and life force together. So there are things like we've spoken about clairsustenance. And so clairsustenance is the perception, clear feeling of mind on matter. And so you are able to have a clear mind, and you're able to have ability to perceive emotional or psychic energy. And so the difference between clairsustenance and empaths is, they say empaths don't really have ability to control. So they receive information. Like, let's say you're an empath. So that means that you really are so overwhelmed by feelings and emotions of others. And so you might have started out your life and you might have been like, oh my gosh, why am I sad all the time? Or why am I crying all the time? Or why does that person's mood come to me? Because you're so empathic. Now, that's a gift. However, you don't have any control over it, do you? Now, I'm an empath and I had that problem. And so what happened was, I'd be in a great mood, and then someone who was in a nasty mood, or they were just down, or they were confused, I would take their energy on. I would start to feel confused as well. So is that happening to you? Well, you can move forward and challenge yourself and learn all about your clairsustenance. So clairsustenance is basically the ability to control your empathic gifts. So you'll be able to understand it, break it down. It won't take hold of you. It won't own you, because being an empath, you can suffer and you can kind of feel out of control, and you can have looping thoughts and you don't know why. And what do I say? One of the key things, if you're empathic, is imagine light around you, like if you go into a crowd. So clairsustenance, one of these ionic powers, is going to be your ability to perceive emotional or psychic energy, so that you're able to decipher what's your feelings and what someone else's feelings. It's key. It's very key. And so the more hey, Raymond, the more that we start to understand ourselves and break everything down. So what does that mean? Well, that means that you don't go on with your existence exactly how you've been doing it. You look deeper, the deeper meaning. Now, are you interested in this? Maybe you're not. Maybe this isn't resonating with you, right? But so we are going to consider our perception is very important, right? Our perception is very important, how we see things. And hey, Hamano, thanks for joining us. You're coming from Transylvania. Well, Raymond and Hamano here. Raymond is from Thailand. Wow, this is so international today. We're speaking of ionic powers and abilities, which is about your perception, mind, and life force together. And so our ability to perceive emotional or psychic energy. And so I just said the difference between clairsentience and being an empath is you have the ability to realize that this is your emotion and this is not your emotion. It's being able to control your empathic feelings and emotions. Like if you're extrasensory, like we say, ESP, extrasensory perception, it's your ability to be able to control it more, to have a knowing, like we say, that it's coming from another source. It's not yours. Do you have a knowing? So, what are some ionic powers besides clairsentience? Well, there's psychokinesis, which is controlling existing objects and forces. Objects are moved by your mental concentration. So it would be like I took my pair of glasses. If I had psychokinesis, I could lift this up with my mind and move it across the room. This is very strong ability if you can do that. Now, is this possible? Well, I believe it is. However, I don't know how far away that is from us being able to do it because we haven't been trained to, we haven't practiced, we haven't worked on it. Is it possible? Apparently it is. So someone is able to lift this object, control it, and move it across a room. It's mental concentration. That's what we're working on here. That's why we're working on the ball of light. That's why we're working on all of our intuitive abilities. You will master one, I promise you. What are you going to master? It's entirely up to you. What feels strongest for you? When I say tune in, what impressions are you receiving, and where are they coming from? Are they coming from you're hearing them? Are you seeing them in your mind's eye? Are you sensing them? Do you have a knowing about someone and you've never met them? You'll figure this all out. It's coming in time. So there's what's called, this is very interesting, metabolism, where you can change your body's form. You can control your metabolism. Now, we've seen this in these sci-fi films, right? Some of these superheroes change their metabolism. They change their form, their body form. They're able to control their body form. Maybe they change into an animal, or they have certain skill set. Isn't Spider-Man psychometabolism? He's changing. He's able to all of a sudden change his form. Any of these heroes, these superheroes. So this is out there. This information is out there. So I'm sharing it with you. You know, this is all about our mind, right? Our mind is very powerful. Is our mind seeing rainbows, or is our mind seeing sadness, anger, fear, worry? What is your mind seeing? It's very important to decipher this. It's about controlling our thoughts, having the power over our mind, and like letting that go. When we tune into our intuitive abilities, we do not want to bring our mind into it. That's interfering with mastering. We don't want that. So anyone who's joining the channel, please like and subscribe. I live 200 miles from Ukraine. You don't really? What's that like? My goodness, thanks for sharing that. I live 45 minutes from New York City. 200 miles from Ukraine. Wow. That's interesting. You probably are very aware of a lot that's going on in the world. See, unless I hear it from a source, or I see it with from myself, like a source, somebody I know, I don't really believe things. I have to see it from my own eyes because I don't trust the media. I don't trust the news. It's all made up. It's all programming. Hey, Alexandra Morel from New York. Thank you for joining us. So, Alexandra, Raymond is from Thailand today, and we have Humano is from Transylvania. So it's very interesting. Hey, everybody, whoever's joining us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. So we're just referring to psychic phenomenon, our ionic powers. Do you have ionic powers? Do you have psychokinesis, where you can move this object across the room? Have you have mental concentration? That's what we're referring to today. And also psychometabolism. What is that? That's the ability to change your metabolism in your body so that you can change to a different form. Maybe that's what shapeshifters do. I don't know. Maybe that's what a reptilian can do. Has anyone ever heard of a reptilian? Which is, these reptilians apparently are running the world. They're extraterrestrials, and they came here from another planet or they're another galaxy, I guess you could say, and they shapeshift. So I bet they have what's called psychometabolism. They can change their body's form so they can look like a human and change, or they have a mask on, one or the other, right? So are there reptilians out there? Well, they say that they are. They say the queen was a reptilian, and she had her souls taken. We spoke about soulless beings last week, and came late. Alexandra Morel, you came late. She's a late timeline arrival. So now, telepathy. Oh no, I also wanted to mention psychoportation. So there's the ability to time travel, isn't there? There's the method of transport, so you can convert in 1 minute particular particles of energy from one point to another. It's called teleportation. Now, this is actually looks like astral travel. It's not really the same thing. Teleportation would be either I can teleport to another location in 1 second, right? In 1 minute to another location, or either through my mind, right? Psychoportation would be through my mind. I can travel to another location, or teleportation would be I would enter some kind of machine, like they'd say a time machine, and you get in and you'd move from here to another location. All your particles of energy would transport. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that's out there? How is everyone doing? Are they going to be open to having this telepathy school, Earth School? We're learning all about ourselves, our intuitive abilities. Anyone who's joining us, please like the channel and subscribe to the channel and like the video. So telepathy. Are you working on your mental? Are you practicing your mental communication? Are you receiving psychic attacks? So we're going to reprogram our brains. That's what we're doing right now, here and now. We are reprogramming our brains, and we're letting go of any thoughts before this moment, because we've been programmed. Do you have unconscious programming? Is every thought your own? Can you decipher between what was your thought? Maybe your mother or your father or your teacher or your employer put thoughts into your mind, and now that's how you're a robot, and you're working. Everything is about what somebody else taught you or told you to do. What is your thought? If you were here and all of this physical reality just vanished, it just vanished, you closed your eyes, what would be the reality that you would create? Would it be the reality that you were under mind control some more? Or would you be like, oh no, I want heaven on earth like Mary does? I want heaven on earth. Heaven on earth is about this beautiful nature. It's about creating our destiny. It's about having free will. It's about being sovereign. You're not being told what to do. You don't have to do anything. You can just be. right? So let's consider that. That's a possibility, because the more of us that become awakened that there's another reality, joining the pack of rebels, not the rebels that create havoc, the rebels that believe there's another reality. When you have a higher consciousness, you're questioning. You're questioning. And maybe you have doubt about the matrix, and that's not a bad thing. Having doubt will help you to change. So you say, you know what? I don't know if I agree with that anymore. Maybe it's good to create doubt, because then you start to realize that maybe everything that you were told and programmed and fear that was brought into you wasn't for your benefit. What is for your benefit? You decide. You decide what's for your benefit. Now, there's radio frequency weapons. I don't know if you know that. I'm throwing that out there today. Before I move on to our clear senses, our knowing. And so let's clear our mind of doubt, okay? Starting here and now. When we talk about our psychic abilities, we're going to just focus in on ourselves right now. Let's focus in on us, whoever you are, okay? And so what are we going to do? We're going to clear our mind, we're going to let go, and we're going to start to understand how we can receive impressions. Now, we've spoken about closing your eyes and going into a quiet space and tuning in beyond the walls of the room, right? That's our hearing. We're working on our hearing, our clear audience. What are we hearing beyond the walls of a room? Because when we start to do that, we're going to start to go to other realms. We're going to start to connect with other sources. You're going to get information from another source. The more I'm talking about this, the more that you are accessing this, the more that you're becoming aware of this, the more information will come. Have trust. Is there going to be any proof? You're not going to have any proof or validation for a while, because you're going to have to trust yourself. Now, if you can't trust yourself, who can you trust? If you don't believe in yourself, who can you believe in? This is all you got going on here. It's just you. That's it. Everything is your perception and your perspective. It's whatever you're seeing. Now, we spoke about last week, how much can our eyes see? Only 1% of what's going on in the world. That's all. It's like 0.0035%. That's all that light, that's all that we can see that's going on. So what's going on in the other 99%? Well, that's going to be about our senses. It's if we close our eyes, like I say, we're an owl seeing in the dark. If we close our eyes, what are we sensing around us? Do that right now. What are you sensing around you? I can't focus. My brain is one wild white horse. Well, that's a good thing. Horses, we spoke about a dark horse a couple of weeks ago. The dark horse is the least likely candidate to win the race. Horses are beloved animals in most cultures. They're cherished, they're loved. It's a positive thing if you're a horse. God bless that. So if you're joining us today, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. So we're going to clear our mind, and we're going to let go of any attachments, and we're going to trust this inner feeling that we have. So let's say we're tuning in to someone or something, like we said, right? This is a token object reading. If we tune into a stranger's thing, or we tune into someone, we're going to lock minds with them. We're going to concentrate. We're going to close our eyes, let out a breath. We're going to have quiet within ourselves and patience. Patience is very valuable. You start to see things. You start to experience things. Just wait. The universe will bring the information to you. If you're receiving an impression, you're supposed to receive it. Like I said, if you hear something, if you see something that's going on around you in the physical reality, you're meant to see or hear it. Because your vibration, your frequency that you carry is attracting whatever you are seeing or hearing. You're supposed to attract. Now, maybe it's supposed to be a message for you to stop doing something. Maybe it's supposed to be a message that you're supposed to bring something into your life. Just like dreams, our sleeping dreams are so valuable. It's our unconscious bringing us messages. Maybe someone who's passed will come to visit you. Maybe you will be told of something, some data, some information that you can't receive when you're awake. Maybe you will travel into an astral realm. That's why I mentioned the silver cord that we have. When we go to sleep, it's not protected. We all have a silver cord that's attached to us that is very strong. It will never be broken. It's attached to all of our chakras. It's life, it's all of our life force. So if that life force is strong, that means you're living in love. So before you go to sleep, I'm recommending that you think of love in your heart, and you won't be able to be, your energy won't be able to be taken from you. Okay? So back to when we're doing a reading. When we do a reading, when we tune into someone or something, we're going to close our eyes, we're going to let out a breath, and we're going to concentrate. We're going to connect. We're going to make contact with whoever we are trying. Now we're going to have mind to mind. It's mind to mind information that we're receiving. Okay? So be aware. Now, at first, when you tune into someone and you're not aware, when you start doing this, you're going to receive everything. You're going to receive if they have pain in their arm. That's how medical intuitives work. They can tune into where all their pain is in someone's body. They can see it. So at first you're going to tune in, right? We talk about the dial. So you tune the dial all the way up. You tune in and you'd be like, whoa, I got a headache. So maybe you tune the dial down a little bit. You say, leave, that's not my energy, leave my mind. And we're going to tune in and make contact, mind to mind. So what impressions are we going to receive from the person? We're going to first receive the most important monumental events of their life. Maybe it's someone passed. Maybe they have an illness. Maybe whatever's the most monumental event, that's the impressions you're going to receive. Whatever's strongest, you're going to receive. Triggered impulses come through in feelings, memories, emotions. That's how you get mind-to-mind information. So be aware that you're going to receive everything from the person. It's kind of exciting. Now, if you do this little exercise that we spoke of, where you have the sender and the receiver, and you're the receiver receiving the information, you get a piece of paper and you're writing it down, which means that you say to a friend who's interested, and you say, hey, how about we try this? How about you be the sender, you be the sender and I'll be the receiver, and you're going to send me information. We're going to do this at a certain time. And so they sit there with your picture, or they sit there and they go over and over your name, and they start to send you information, and they verbally say it out loud. And you sit down there at the same time. Let's say it's 7:30 p.m. on Monday nights. And you tune in, and you think of them, and you think of their name, you think of what they look like, and you start to write down your impressions. So your impressions are going to be some kind of mental images. Your impressions might be a voice. Maybe it's a number. It could be anything. It could be a symbol. It could be maybe it'll be words. And you start writing it down. Now, when you start practicing and doing this in a regular way, thanks, Raymond. When you start doing this, what will happen is, without even trying, if you do this more than a few times, you will start to receive the person's information without even trying. It won't even be synchronized. It won't even be a specific time. And so you're going to have to also categorize that as here you have this ability, but now how do you turn it off? You're going to turn it down. You're going to turn it down. You're going to say, I don't want to hear that anymore. It worked, right? And this is how we're going to learn how to have telepathy. We're going to pass information back and forth, mind to mind. So you're going to receive from the person the most outstanding information that's happened to them on this day or in their life. Okay? So it's a knowing from another source. So sometimes it works better if we imagine in front of us like a mental screen. Maybe that will work for you better. So you're going to relax I just tune into my mind's eye, which is actually a mental screen, I guess. But maybe for you to start out with, you're just going to imagine a screen in front of you. And so the burden is really on the receiver. They're the one collecting all the information. So it takes practice. First, do it with an appointment, and then eventually you're going to receive information from that person all the time. So for me, what happens is when I do a reading on someone, sometimes I don't shut it down. It doesn't shut down. And so then I get more information past that moment of doing the reading. And so that might happen to you. So anyway, let's see if there's anything else I want to talk to. I mentioned that I had a dream over the weekend that looked like this, which was all these different wavy lines. It wasn't a specific word. I think it's considered light language, and I feel like I'm advancing with my skill set. I'm advancing with light codes. I'm advancing to a higher consciousness. I am getting through stuff that I've never gotten through before. What happens is, as you advance during your awakening process, when you awaken, as you advance, what happens is you start to be I guess, interrupted by issues that you've had from your past. And you're like, I don't really want to deal with that. I stuck this over there, or I crushed it down inside of me. Sometimes people deal with things by not dealing, they avoid it. So when you become awakened and you can't look back now. You can't look back. You have to move forward because you're awakened. You've now seen it all. You now know that there's the matrix, and then there's the higher consciousness. Living in the love, living in the light. So what happens is you start to receive all these different light codes, and you start to receive all these kind of communications from other sources right before you go to sleep, because that's the moment when we are in between our conscious state and our unconscious state, our sleeping state. And so during that short period of time, which is sometimes it's only like a minute, you might start to receive, be excited about this, light codes. You might start to be, very, very much vividly seeing other beings. Maybe it's an angel, maybe it's an extraterrestrial, maybe it's someone who's passed, maybe it's someone from another location that's trying to send you information. Just be aware, this is what happens when you become awakened. You start to receive all this information. Now, based on your intuitive abilities, even if you haven't really practiced them, that might start to, be stronger or less powerful. I'm here to bring awareness. So if you get mind interference, so if you are tuning into someone and you start to get mind interference, you might start having your thoughts come into a reading, or you're not really tuning into your senses. So tuning into your senses is not including your critical reasoning. You don't want to do that, because that's going to interfere with your reading. So we're going to take away all of our thoughts, and that's why we practice tuning in beyond the walls of the room, tuning into other. It's practice. It's becoming more familiar with this. So I hope that you will join me for a visualization. So our thoughts are a vibration. When we do mind to mind, it's an energy exchange. It's easier when you synchronize. Like I said, it's easier when you say, let's set up a time, than to just try to tune into someone and you've never done this. Now, if I was to tune into somebody, I ask for permission. So I don't really do this where I just tune into just someone randomly. But when you start out, it's kind of the only way to learn. So like if I was to tune into someone without realizing I do this automatically, if I'm in their presence for a while and I start to receive their thoughts and their words and their thinking and whatever's going on with them, and I cut it off because it's too much sometimes. That might begin to happen to you. However, you can learn to control how you're thinking, your mind. So let's just cover really quickly before we move on to the visualization, because time's almost up. Let's just cover clairvoyance. Clairvoyance. Are you clairvoyant? Do you have intuitive sight? Are you able to have a knowing about someone without them telling you? You're receiving this from an outside source. It is a force though, an outside source. So it's their energy. Are you receiving information? Are you clairvoyant? Now, you might see spirits, entities, angelic realms. You might be able to have a third eye activation, which transcends this physical reality. Okay, we all are working towards and practicing so that we have and activating our third eye. Now, I say, let's crack open that beautiful glowing light in our heart, because then we tune into our heart. We know ourselves more, right? And so then we can awaken. So clairaudience is the ability to hear something from another reality. So that might come through, like, for example, before I go to sleep, when I'm just about falling asleep, I might hear a voice come from another source, and it's telling me something. And, they know that I can hear. Spirits know that I can see and hear them. And so they sometimes come in and it's a little aggravating at first, but then you get used to it. And they're just trying to tell me something, or maybe they're hearing my thoughts and then they're repeating them back to me. It's very interesting. Nothing to be worried about. But clairaudience is also very interesting when you go out into nature and you start tuning in. Oh, I'm getting a lot of vibration coming in. A lot of energy is coming into the earth right now, if I'm feeling this in my ears. The ball of light we have to do. When I, now tune into nature a lot. So I say, you want a mystical experience, go out into nature and really concentrate on a piece of nature. Maybe it's the birds, maybe it's the trees blowing in the wind, maybe it's rain coming down on the leaves, maybe it's ocean. When you tune into that nature, when you're not in nature, let's say you're stuck somewhere, like you're stuck inside and you're really having a bad time and you're like, wow, I'm so bored, or you're unhappy about something in the physical reality, in the three-dimensional world. Go to that nature experience. When you go to that nature experience, it will light you back up and you'll feel like a lift. It'll lift you. So what I do is I just have the suggestion, right? I have a suggestion of the water dripping on the leaves, because it just brings like a lift to me. So clairsustenance we kind of covered today quite a bit, which was the ability to perceive emotional or psychic energy. Clairempathy we also kind of covered, which is also clairsustenance. It's feeling others' energies, their emotions, and we spoke of how if you're empathic, it's overwhelming sometimes because you can't control how you're receiving impressions, how you're receiving emotional energy from others. So it's important that you work on understanding yourself more. So clair alliance is you smell. So you might go somewhere and you smell, or if you are just like it would be right now, all of a sudden I smell someone's perfume. So it's a memory that's coming through. There's clairgustance, which is a knowing, a knowledge of people or events. Clairgustance is tasting. So you taste something. It's claircognizance, that's a knowing. And then, so knowing, there's no practical explanation for it. It's just that you have this information. So before we do a visualizations, let's do a bowl of light because we're really, really running late. Whoever's joining me, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. All right, so I'm rubbing my hands together, right? This is what we do. We take it away from our body, and then hopefully we feel like some kind of vibration on our hands. Now, if we've taken any kind of medication, even a pain reliever, we're not necessarily going to feel this. Now, when we do this, And then we want to cup our hands if we can. We're bringing light into this ball of light. We're bringing light into this physical realm. The more that we do this, the more we're bringing light. We say there's 10% awakened to another reality. So let's bring that up to a higher number. Let's bring that up to 50%. That's my goal. And then eventually, I'm sure that everyone's going to have to awaken. Now, I don't think they want to be awakened out of their slumber. So here we have this ball of light. Now, when you do this, what are you feeling? Are you feeling some kind of vibration on your hands? It's helping with your concentration. It's helping you with your focus. It's helping you to understand your intuitive abilities. You will master one of your intuitive abilities. So what are you feeling right now? Are you feeling... Anyone who's joining us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. So this ball of light I'm bringing into this physical reality. I'm bringing light here. Like I said, when I clear space, you can clear a space. You can clear it with your mind. You can clear it by shoveling, pushing light through space. If you're a light worker, you know all about this. Maybe you work on light grids. All right, so right now, I don't know what you're feeling. If you're feeling anything on your hands, can you tune into your third eye, your mind's eye, which takes a lot of concentration. So it's this light in your third eye, which is the space that's around my being, but it's not in this realm. So as you start to practice, you'll start to realize that you too can do this. So what is going on here in my... Well, I see a lot of angels right now, and they are in the circle. That was something that was very constant in my life for many years. When I would tune in, I am seeing that white gate. There is a cow. Let's see, whatever. What else? Anything else? Oh, now I see a barn in the distance, so it's in the country. Now, I shared with you that Archangel Michael has left. He's gone. He was here a long time supporting me. What else do I see? What else do I see? I do see in the distance, I'm getting motion to come forward. I'm getting some people in the distance motioning, and they're light. So I don't know if they're human. What are they? They're motioning me to come forward, and then there's like a line of beings in front of them. So someone's motioning me. So this must be my future. That's a good future. Beings of light motioning me forward. Okay, and so that's about it. I think that's, so we're putting light in this space, and then we tuned in to our third eye. Now, maybe you do this and you kind of go into a trance, and maybe you want to imagine yourself inside the ball of light and see what's inside. When I've done that, I automatically just see this light around me. Okay, I'm going to put my hands together, and that's it for today. I'm going to do a quick visualization, and then, every day I'm going to come back at 11, and we're going to talk about our intuitive skill set, and we're going to work more on that, practice more, right, everybody? All right, so anyone who's joining us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I say that a lot because that's how people find us. So today we cover topics like doubt, stuck in the matrix. Are you stuck? Come on out. Come on out of the matrix. Come here to this moment in time. Right here in this moment, in the present moment. Let's be in the moment. Let's create our destiny right here in my hand. Here it is. Put your destiny. Put your hands out. Put your destiny right here in your hands. What is it that you want? What are your 5 humongous goals? What is it that you want to achieve in your existence here in the physical reality? It's very important, because if we want to manifest it, we should have joy in our heart, we should have love in our heart, and we should be able to see it. We should be able to see what we want. And we're not asking everybody else what they think. We're only trusting ourselves, because when we ask everybody else, eventually somebody's going to say, "Oh, really? Isn't that kind of silly? Why do you want to do that? Ha, 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 ha." Well, you know what? Don't share your dreams and hopes and wishes with just anyone. It must be someone that's supporting you, a like-minded individual. They must believe in you. My glass is all the way filled. I don't know what yours is. Okay, so a visualization is creating mental imagery in the mind's eye, bringing us hope, prosperity, peace, love, and all the positive stuff. So we will create mental, vivid images in our mind's eye, bringing us positive emotions. Our intention today is to release any pain through a source of light. So let's realize connecting to your mind, body, spirit, and to divine light will shed darkness in yourself and unblock your truest potentials. Your heart visualization begins now, so please find a quiet space, sit or lay down comfortably. Elsa already is sleeping right now beside me. Have a niece, puppy dog, who's going to be 9 in October. So find a quiet space, close your eyes. So let's release any tension that we have. Now, this is very valuable because when we calm ourselves down, all of our important stuff that we're thinking and we're forgetting about is rising up. And maybe you'll get information that you need that you've forgotten, or it's coming through to you. So we're going to release any tension that we have in all of our body. So maybe we tense up and we let go. And we tense up and then we let go. And so now together, what we're going to do is we are going to inhale and exhale 3 times so that we can really relax ourselves. And we're going to focus on our breathing. We're going to quiet ourselves down, because when we quiet ourselves down, we have more concentration and we have more ability to think. Our mental activity is processed better. So here we go, 3 times. I'll do it with you. And we're going to do it on a 12 count. Okay, so I hope you've let go of any thoughts that's circling, any thought attachments, because they are just taking the life out of you and they're not helping you. So let's be in this moment. So now you're going to scan your body for tension or stress, and you're going to let go of anything that you're thinking. Just let it go. If you need to speak it out, any circling thoughts that are in your mind, that's not going to be helpful to you right now. We're going to just be in this moment right now. So if you need to speak them out, and now you're going to connect to your heart. So tune into your heart. So whatever that is to you, maybe you're seeing it, maybe you're feeling it, maybe it's sensory. So you're going to tune into your heart and you're going to breathe out emotions. Now, are you sensing any pain or any anger, any fear, any hurt? We're going to let that go. Let it go for this moment. It's not serving you. You don't need it. Let it go. And so now we're going to identify anything, any emotions that we have. Is there anything there? Anything there that's bothering us? Okay, so we're going to let that go. And now you're going to try to reach for peace. You're going to try to reach for peace, and you're going to see light in your heart. And so this light is glowing, and it's illuminating inside your heart, and you can see it inside your heart. Your eyes are closed. You're seeing this light within your heart, and it's expanding, and it's expanding. It's growing larger and larger, and you're starting to feel a calmness. You're starting to feel more pure. You're relieved. And you're giving it permission as it grows larger and larger, and it's expanding beyond your heart. And now it's expanding, it's starting to cover your body and your neck and your torso and your legs. And as it expands, you're saying, I'm giving permission for it to fill my bones, my flesh, my cell, my organs, and all of the space that my body takes up. And so this light is expanding beyond you. And it's expanding beyond your head and beyond your feet. And it's completely covering you. And this light is bringing peace to you. And you're feeling relieved. Your senses are knowing that you don't need any of that negative stuff, any of that toxic energy, and you've let it go. And so now it's expanded your energy field beyond your body. It's completely covered. And you're letting it stay within you. And you're checking for peace and relaxation. And you're going to stay in this moment. And you're going to have wishful thoughts, positive thoughts about your truth and about where you want to go and whatever your purpose and your passions are. And you're trusting yourself and you're believing in yourself. And you have a knowing that good things are coming for you. And you're going to stay in that moment. And now I'm going to count backwards to 1, and you're going to open your eyes. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so today we've kind of talked about light out here in our physical reality, which is bringing light. You're bringing light, and you're just creating light here, right? A ball of light. It's helping with your concentration. And we put light within our bodies, our minds. It helps with our mind and our spirit. It brings quiet to ourselves. And we really, really, really touched on that we want to, when we tune in to someone and we're doing a reading, we want to have mind to mind. What are the impressions that you're receiving? And to know that when you do this, if you really do this and you concentrate, you make contact, concentrated contact, and you have present consciousness, you're present here, okay? You have present mind. If you do this, you will receive everything. You will receive if they have pain in their shoulder. You'll receive all the impressions, all the thoughts and feelings and emotions and experiencing that person has, and the most significant events of their life. So it takes time. It's practice. Every day we're going to work on it a little bit more. I'm going to make you more familiar, help you to be more familiar. We talked about psionic powers, ionic powers. We talked about clairsustenance and empathy and psychokinesis and psychometabolism, about changing your body's form. What superpowers do you have? I know you have some. Psychoportation, which is teleportation and being able to teleport yourself in 1 minute to another place. All the particles of energy from one point to another. And telepathy, mental communication. Now, I'm going to remind you before you go to sleep tonight, your silver cord. You will have psychic attacks, which is negativity coming to try to bring you back into the matrix. Let's try to get out of the matrix. So at night, you might be brought back into the matrix because you're getting a psychic attack. So you have a silver cord that's attached to you. All of your chakras are connected. So if you're not healthy, you're not feeling love, think love before you go to sleep. That's the remedy for this. Think love, 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 love. So I'm going to spin light, and I'm saying go out and spend time in sunlight today. It's good for you. I'm spinning light, and you're in the middle of it. I'm wishing good things for you, and you're making a wish. So our mind and life force are ionic powers and abilities, our mind and life force. Okay, you're in the middle, you're making a wish, and I'll be back again tomorrow at 11. So everyone be well. I hope you liked the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm wishing good things for you. Thank you, Alexandra Morel. Have a great day. Bye.